Hey everyone, I'm back with another video. I wanted to jump on here and do a video about something that's been questioned a lot lately. Do I have an accent? I do. It's a northern New York accent. But I wasn't born in New York. I was born in Florida. It's questioned because of my speech impediments, which is the cause of it. I have a hard time pronouncing my O's and my R's, my W's. So when I speak, it has a little of a northern twang to it. So when I was born, there was a lack of oxygen. My mom had to go in as an emergency cesarean because I wasn't being fed through her, through the placenta or whatever. I wasn't being fed. I was actually starving for about a month and a half, and I started dropping weight tremendously. Not only that, when she would eat certain foods, she would get stomach pains. I'll get into that in another video. I'm gonna piece it together because it's just so much to go through. But when I was born, as I got older, babies learn to talk, at 15, 16, 17 months. They say dad, or they say mom, or they say words. I never did. As I got older, I wasn't able to speak. I would say a dit, a dat, do, a dit, a dat, and then I would cry because they didn't understand what I wanted. So I would go into these fits of crying to get my point across because I couldn't speak. I had a hard time speaking, pronunciation, everything. I couldn't form words. So I would cry and I would get very frustrated when I would want something and my needs wasn't being met. I would go into fits of crying and this went on for until I was like 1 or 2. Finally, they took me to a counselor and they said, she should be forming words. She should be speaking, at 2, 3 years old. She's not, forming any words with her speech. They then put me in speech therapy. And I had to do speech therapy for a few years and to learn how to speak. Still at 5, I wasn't really saying anything, so it took a few years for me to actually learn to talk and form words. I was in special classes. I was then in like special needs classes, like ESE, things like that. And I would go into speech therapy. They would teach me how to read and everything. And when I started to learn to read, I started to enjoy it. As I got older, I learned to pick up on certain words. When it came to spelling tests, I picked up on it quick. You know, they would give me words, I would recognize the word, I would spell it correctly. I was very, like, skilled. And they then, you know, I went to ESC classes through elementary, and they would practice all the time. I would have to read books. But the only thing that would frustrate me, and this is what really, they tried to leave me behind a few times because of my pronunciation. When I learned to speak, when I first learned how to speak, and I started reading, I had a hard time pronouncing words. So when I would say rabbit, or rollover, or dog, or pony, or just anything like that in those, you know, word, you know, they would say, oh, that's not the correct word. That's not how you say it. You say it like this. And it wasn't like they were trying to help me. It was more of like picking at me and trying to embarrass me in front of the class because I couldn't say it the proper way. And that always frustrated me. So when I would do, you know, when I would read out loud, I would read, and sometimes when I would say certain words, it would sound like a completely different word from what I'm actually saying. And they would say, okay, that's not the word. And I'm saying, well, I'm saying the word. I know what I'm saying, but they said, oh no, you're not saying it correctly, so we're going to mark that as wrong. You didn't get that one correctly. And I'm like, wow, okay. So that's how they would treat me in school. They were very, you know, they wasn't really like hands-on with me, because I would fall behind a lot. I was the type of student that would get A's, B's, first and second semester. When it came to third and fourth semester of school, I would get C's, D's, and F's. And they would always try to hold me back when it came to math, when it came to English, history, things like that, because of my pronunciation, you know. Just, they thought, well, they thought that I was just like playing. They thought I was just making fun and I wasn't being direct, and they would just mark it down as wrong. And that happened a lot, and it would frustrate me, but that's just a little insight of the accent that I have. Yeah, it's not, you know, it's an accent. It's an a New York accent, but it's not, you know, it's a speech impediment, and it sounds like an accent. But yeah, that's just a small insight of why I have this problem. Actually, I get a lot of compliments too, on my voice, the way I speak. Just even, you know, guys that, you know, I would date, they would find it very attractive, the way I spoke, my tone of voice, the way I would pronounce certain words, and they'd be like, "That's cute, can you say that word again?" And they'd be like, "You have an accent, you have a New York accent." And I was like, "Yeah, but it's a speech impediment." They said, we don't notice that you have a speech impediment. It sounds like a northern accent and it's cute." I'm just like, thank you. That happened a lot. But that's a little insight of me. I know it's been questioned a lot on here, and that's the reason why. I can get into more about the birth, you know, when I was born and everything, a little more, because there's different stages, you know, of what I was going through. But I can get into that probably later tonight. I could probably do another video tonight. Yeah. So I gotta go and get ready, pick up little old lady. So yeah, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, comment, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next video. Bye.